Good evening. Welcome to episode 7 of the poetry series. Just finished the play that I was working on, and I'm now going to read to you quite an emotional poem. So unlike the other ones that I've shared. This one is really vulnerable for me to share. So your thoughts and comments and likes and shares, those are really, really appreciated. This poem is called Love and Be. I'll write in vagaries now because it suits my mood, and incomplete sentences help me to skip between subjects more fluidly, like his lips, his breath, our mutual elation, exploration. It is addictive. I don't need to justify this. I have been avoiding letting love in, just lust and damp, limp attempts at orgasm, physical, emotional, any release. Yes, the barriers are up. I feel safer this way. When one enters, too often that is too much for me, for them. Letting them in, feeling myself feeling them means I must feel myself too, and I don't often like the texture of me. Questions, why and who I am, fled my mind. My airy, floating attention slammed face first into tangible ground. What am I doing? What am I going to do? How do I create meaning of this? It must be the time of year. The dying leaves, the darkening skies, the crisp, unforgiving air. I no longer want to transcribe my life, just so one day I can relive all the details of my dalliances, and in the secret power, the framing, pretending. Not that I loved and they left, not that I loved and then pushed and pushed and pushed them away, but that perhaps they appeared in my life for a time, for a reason. Positivity. Sometimes it is so draining, because on paper, in ink, sure, I'm great. You were great. We are great. But then within, I just ache. Ache with need, ache with loneliness, ache with fear. Blame hormones, blame alcohol, blame Canada. But seriously, no one blames Canada. Blame the lack of community, the wrong community, the lack of stability, my childhood, my father, myself. Blame myself. I blame myself. Being so sensitive and not allowing my senses to guide me, for stretching my energies too thin, reprimanding myself for not being thin enough, smart enough, pretty enough, active enough, risking enough, for not being enough, enough, even if I'm sure being human is just to be, even if logically I know I am enough. And also too much, a whole other bag of tricks. And like so many others, sometimes I want to love and be loved without need for explanation or rationalization, even if I take snatches and snippets of love, when and where they come. And he, with those hands and that skin, and his soft moans and caresses, with a lovemaking almost spiritual that opens me in places I sealed off so long ago due to loss, and a name I could not stop from ringing in my head, has all but gone. Not thanks to the soft hands and skin like sweet grass, but thanks to space. The invitation to share love, the space to safely pour it out of me. I know I have given love meant for me to others a lot of my life. I do try to love myself. It gets less challenging over time. When I sit near a man on the tube, I note his legs spread wide. He claims his space whilst I sit, make myself smaller because, like most women, I have been taught to make myself, my needs, my love, smaller. As small as we can, and I do this in love especially. But this year, my voice, I will turn up the volume. I cannot continue to be small, and yet I must learn how to be tall, to turn on my humanity switch, to not hide in vagaries, but sing in specifics, to stop trying to be enough, to stop worrying about being too much, to just be in love and be. Thanks for tuning in. I hope to hear from you, what your thoughts are, if this connects to you, or if I'm just a small town girl living in a lonely world.